last week in the remote desert of Pinal County, Arizona, two men called 911 and told dispatchers in Spanish that they had been shot. And when deputies actually went out and found them, they were both dead of gunshot wounds. The area, a very high traffic drug and human smuggling corridor. It's the same area, by the way, where a sheriff's deputy was shot by smugglers about a month ago. We talked to his boss a while back. But also nearby were some hidden cameras. They were placed there by concerned citizens who are documenting drug and human smuggling and posting the videos on websites to show the extent of the problem, because some people still don't believe it is a serious problem. Our next guest is fed up with politicians who say the border is safe and secure. He created the site secureborderintel.org, secureborderintel.org, 4 months ago to capture footage of illegals crossing the border. You're seeing some of it over here. Understandably, the creator of the site wishes to remain anonymous. We've granted his request. He is in silhouette. As you see, Daniel joins us now. Daniel, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. By the way, got to ask, why are you in silhouette? What are you afraid of?
Well, these organizations are very well funded. I have a family at home. There's no need to make my face a part of this story. I think the video tells its story within itself. So I didn't see no advantage on making myself a target.
Gotcha. Now, tell us, first of all, whether you have any information about these shootings last week. The two Mexican nationals, one of whom, by the way, had been apparently arrested several times by police before.
I do have some information, and it has been confirmed that the shooter in the two homicides that happened last week, he only fired 2 rounds, each one of those rounds striking an individual, and each one of those being a kill shot. So what that tells me, if he was firing an AK-47 assault rifle, which is not very accurate at 100 yards, and to kill both guys dead with 1 shot apiece, he was definitely a very trained individual. And he wasn't just some guy that they picked up off the street to go out there and shoot at people.
So these people really know what they do. Does that mean that they had some kind of military training in your mind, or what?
Yes, absolutely. I would assume they were trained somewhere, whether it was on this side of our border or down in Mexico.
Well, and presumably, since the two people killed were Mexican nationals, the shooters are probably Mexicans too. Does that mean that you think the federales are involved? I mean, because we know how corrupt the Mexican government is at that level.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think the federales are involved 80 miles north of the border, which is where we are now. We're only 45 miles south of Phoenix, Arizona. What you have out here is you have a lot of bandit activity where you have these organized groups that go out and try to rob drug loads or human loads, and they use violence, they use guns, and they shoot at people, and then obviously they kill people. So I don't think it's the federales. It's very profitable for people to come out here and rob drug loads, and it's an everyday occurrence out here, as we've listened to Paul Babu from Pinal County talk to us about him not having any control of this area in the desert.
He's the sheriff. We've had him on several times. A terrific guy. Now, do you get a sense that it is getting worse, and if so, how much worse and in what way?
Well, it's definitely getting worse from what I see up here, once again, 80 miles north of the border. There's been 12 documented shootings in this one 30-mile stretch of Interstate 8 up here just this year alone. 4 of those involving United States citizens, guys is innocently just pulling off the side of the road to use the restroom, getting chased by armed gunmen with AK-47s. There was right where we're at right now. Earlier in the year, there was a grandfather and a son out here shooting dove, just doing some simple hunting. Had a carload of people in the back of this truck coming at them at a high rate of speed, firing guns at these 2 individuals. So it's definitely getting worse. It's out of hand. And, you know, some of the video, what really blows me away is some of the video we've been able to obtain of these, what we call stand-up loads, 30, 40 people in the back of these trucks. You know, they travel 80 miles across our desert without being detected. I mean, they're going through the reservation. They're actually going through a bombing range, which is just south of us, and up here on this BLM land. So I cannot understand how Napolitano can come out and say our border is as secure as it's ever been, but yet you got these trucks with people stacked up like cordwood in the back of them, making it all the way up here and getting picked up without being detected.
Well, thankfully, Daniel, your video proves the tale. I mean, pictures tell 1,000 words, and moving pictures tell many more than that. Have the feds responded at all to your videos?
Yeah, they were very thankful we brought those in, and I've had sit-down meetings with Border Patrol and other local law enforcement agencies. They've responded very well. And let me say, the boots on the ground out here are heroes. You know what?
Yeah.
What other kind of person will go sit up on a trail at 2 in the morning waiting for a known group of drug smugglers, not knowing whether they're armed or not? The problem isn't the boots on the ground out here. It's the people in Washington that control where these agents go and where they're stationed. And I'll tell you, in lieu of the Rob Krintz death, they've moved all of their assets closer to the border, so there's just no enforcement up here.
Well, you're doing great work, Daniel. And there's not only that, you do it out of your own pocket, right? You're not being paid by any other outside force. This is coming from your own funds, isn't it?
That is correct. We're self-funded. You know, so between the dollars for the game cameras and the sacrifice, being away from the family and putting ourselves in this kind of situation, it is a sacrifice. But you know, I can't just sit in the living room and listen to people from DC tell us that how good things are down here without getting upset. So we had to do something to make a difference.
You're performing a great civic duty. We thank you very much for your work, Daniel. Appreciate you coming on as well.
Thank you for your time, David.
Appreciate it. Coming up on